So composite warming devices have been around for quite some time in dentistry. And over the years, I've heard a lot of good things about warming your composite prior to either cementing veneers or prior to using it in direct restorations, like the standard fillings that you do in your practice every day. And there's a lot of literature that claim that there are many advantages to using the resin, like easier adaptation to the cavity preparation wall, easier extrusion and management of that filling material, or even the ability to avoid air voids and things like that. Now, while I'd love to say that I purchased this Bioclear heatsink, which I think runs for around $950, I actually didn't purchase it. There was a deal, I think with 3M, and I'll double check my records to make sure of that, where if we bought a certain amount of composite resin for the practice, that they'd give this or include this in the purchase. And that's what we did. We made a large purchase of composite, we were able to get the heatsink, and I was able to try it out. And to be quite honest, I absolutely love using warmed composite. I think it's maybe not a game changer, but it is something that is really useful in my hands, and I find it to be really nice when I'm working with my patients. So how does this work? Well, the anodized heat transfer top, this little silver portion here, evenly distributes heat to around 155°F to these little sections where you can put your flowable resin, where you can put your composite guns with the composite inside it, of course. And it even has a little, I think they call it a top oven, where you can store some compules of composite in there. And what we do at our practice is when we're ready to heat up our composite resin, we put whatever shade we want in the top oven. And it doesn't take much time, maybe around 5 minutes or so, to heat up the composite to the optimum temperature and really get a nice, less viscous feel to that resin. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that if you're working in a colder space or you're storing your resin in a cold environment, sometimes it gets kind of hard to push out that resin. I don't know if you guys can see that. It can be difficult when you're doing some bonding procedures, especially if you're bonding onto abfraction lesions and things like that. It makes it a little bit harder to work with, or at least relatively harder compared to warmed composite, which I'm going to show you next. So let me put this into that composite warmer. Let's give it a little bit of time, and I want to show you the consistency of a warmed composite. So it's been about 5-6 minutes of warming the composite, and you can actually feel the heat. I wish you could feel it on video, but you can't. But you can feel the heat on that on the top of this container right here, okay? And I want to show you what the composite feels like coming out of that compule onto a fake tooth. With the warm composite, hopefully you can kind of see how it's flowing, that it's a bit more droopy. And I don't think this shows as well on video as I'd like it to, but you can work with this composite a little bit more easily. The problem is that it is losing heat pretty quickly, so I suggest you take it out right before you're restoring a tooth. But if you just go ahead and you put it on the tooth right over here, see, it's already stiffening up a little bit, but it is much easier to work with. And although this may not show the best on camera, I would encourage you guys to maybe get a sample to see what it looks like and how it feels when you're doing your resin fillings, because it is pretty nice. Now, it does come with 2 additional slots for like flowable resin, but to be honest with you, I don't really use the flowable resin slots because flowable is already not that viscous, and I essentially use it for usually creating a little bit of a gingival seal if I'm doing class 2 restorations, or if I have a large class 1 restoration with these indentations in the tooth, then I use that resin to fill those voids. So yeah, just a short little video going over this kind of cool composite warming device. This one is by Bioclear. Not sponsored by Bioclear. Like I said, I did not purchase this. It came with a purchase of a lot of composite resin, but it was something that I thought that people out there might be interested in learning about, because you do kind of see it on all the forums and things like that. I want to take the time to thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully it was useful to some of you guys out there. If you are looking for other educational videos, then be sure to share it in the comment section below. And hopefully it doesn't take me another 6 months before I make my next video. Thank you and have a good day.